Welcome to part 2 of our video series on Immune Health 101. So in the first video, we just kind of give a little bit of an introduction about what the purpose of the immune system is, and have you made an example that it's very similar to looking at a football team, right? But in this particular video now, we're going to talk more about inflammation. Now, many people hear this term, inflammation. Just reading an article recently from a journal from Harvard Medical School, and it was entitled, is inflammation at the root cause of all chronic degenerative diseases? I mean, this is where the research is, right, about inflammation. So the question really is what is inflammation? And what I'm going to express to you is that inflammation is an immune system reaction. That's what it is. The immune system creates an inflammatory response. The inflammatory response triggers the immune system, which triggers another inflammatory response. And that is the mechanism, okay? So some of that is appropriate and some of it is not appropriate. So examples would be if you were to speak to a cardiologist, a cardiologist who's in the know today, if you ask them what is cardiovascular disease, they will tell you that, well, cardiovascular disease is inflammation in the cardiovascular system. That's what it is. Inflammation is what is damaging the arteries, damaging the heart, leading to strokes and heart attacks, high blood pressure, okay? But if it's inflammation, that means that there is an immune system or immune reaction in the cardiovascular system. That's what it is. Now the question is, well, what is the immune system reacting to? Is it bacteria? Maybe. Is it environmental chemicals? Maybe. Very commonly, it's actually what is called endotoxenia, which is toxins that are manufactured in the gut that are permeating through and getting into systemic circulation. It's really high as a causative factor. So there's a connection between our gut leading to cardiovascular disease. But if a person walks into the office and they have symptoms of neurological symptoms, brain fog, memory issues, behavior, mood issues, anxiety, depression, learning disability, okay, these are all indications of inflammation in the brain. Right? A telltale sign, very simply, is how do you know you're inflamed? Okay, if you're not even into that brain, analogy, but if you're just tired all the time, you're inflamed. If your muscles are just tired and achy all the time, you're inflamed. If you're not sleeping well at all, you're inflamed. Many people come in, they complain of a gastric bloat. Everything they put in it just ends in bloat. That's inflammation in the gut. So the takeaway in this video is understanding this terminology, inflammation. So when we think in terms of inflammatory control, we want to think in terms of we're kind of managing the immune system. So yes, there's a lot of triggers. One thing I should actually express is blood sugar. So commonly, especially in our country, is that people are either pre-diabetic or diabetic. Right? So if being pre-diabetic or diabetic means that your blood sugar level is too high, meaning that the glucose, which is blood sugar, is not getting inside your cell, which is fuel, is staying in your blood. Well, because the cells aren't getting glucose, that's a stress response. The cells don't have the fuel to make energy. And the very nature of that stress response is going to drive an inflammatory reaction. So now we have a connection where how our blood sugar dysregulation can be driving our immune systems. Okay, hope that was helpful. And on the next video, we're going to kind of get into a little bit about autoimmunity, okay, which really is epidemic in the Western civilized world.